This lesson focuses on privileges, which are binary settings to interfaces and functions. A privilege is either enabled or not. There's no fine-tuning. Privileges enable a specific function, say internal SQL variables, or a user interface like the administration perspective. By denying the privilege, we effectively remove that function or interface from AWI. Every user has a set of privileges. We show how to disable one of them, in our case a perspective, and we'll show the immediate impact of that action. Then we do a deep dive into each privilege and explain what it does. Privileges are granular and allow highly configurable security profiles. They address a vast array of functions and interfaces like perspectives, variables, messages, and a lot more. We configure our users' privileges. Privileges as well as authorizations are found in the Automation Engine page. This is our list of privileges. There are many, and we will explain them individually. For now, no privilege is enabled, meaning user 123 can see nothing. This is confirmed by the absence of features in AWI on the right. We enable the administration perspective and observe the results. That's it. We've enabled one privilege for user 123. Let's log the user out and back for the change to take effect. We now have a plus sign indicating that a perspective has become available. The administration perspective is accessible, but it doesn't mean the user can do anything. For this, we need additional privileges and even authorizations, which we haven't given. But by enabling the privilege, we merely gave access to a perspective. Let's break down privileges. The most important section is AWI access. Without this, most of the other privileges are inconsequential. Here, we grant access to the 4 perspectives in the menu, namely Administration, My Catalog, Process Assembly, and Process Monitoring. This comes into play when you want to configure a basic monitoring profile for an entry-level operator. They might be given access to process monitoring and none of the others. Messages are also important. When events occur in the application, messages are written to the message log and provide low-level information like a job starting or a client stopping. Dashboards are a home perspective UI that displays generic information like history and executions, or aggregates produced by the analytics module. Finally, we can enable the analytics module itself, which provides a wide range of analytical services to aggregate and dissect data in pie and bar charts and other statistical tools. Then we focus on the top section, which is Explorer folders. Note that Explorer is a design menu that you can only access if the process assembly perspective has been enabled. Here you find the No Folder folder, which contains things like UC client settings, the recycle bin where deleted objects are found, the transport case, which allows copying data using physical files, and the version management folder, which is no longer a folder in AWI and has been relegated to a version control page in each individual object. These are the administration privileges. They restrict access to the tools used by administrators to run the solution. Create diagnostic information enables 2 features of the Automation Engine's administration tools: access to the quarantine page and the trace options. Quarantine is a page, and traces can be generated by accessing the advanced options on server processes. Enable automatic processing allows you to stop and start clients. Execute system upgrades allows you to do just that. Among those, you'll be able to use centralized agent upgrade. File event and transfer event logins. It is possible to trigger these 2 executable objects without login objects, which are normally required for jobs and workflows, provided you have this privilege. ILM actions concern database partition functions. Manage favorites on user group level. In a user's process assembly perspective, you find the user catalog. In this catalog, you can use a user group to which you can add objects. This is quite useful for entry-level operators who should have access to a restricted number of objects. You add these objects to the user catalog, add the user to the group, and the user can only access those objects. In order to manage that group catalog, you need this privilege, and obviously that operator should not have it. Finally, if you disable SAP Criteria Manager, the user simply cannot use Criteria Manager on the SAP form. The next section is Advanced Editing. The first two boxes address variables. Backend and internal SQL restrictions are often needed to protect against SQL injections. The other is the Edit Hint Resets. Should the entire system go down while a user is editing an object, that object will have an edit tag when the system comes back online. That tag can be reset and the user can continue to work on the object unless the privilege is taken away. The View Messages section addresses rights to dump the memory trace and see certain types of messages. For example, you can remove messages from the entire client or for the user's user group. These options give users the ability to see messages that are not addressed to them specifically. By removing the privilege, they can only see theirs. The same goes for security and administrators. Some messages convey specific information. If a user's responsibility do not include managing security or administration, that user can be prevented from seeing those messages. Finally, we have access control. This enables access to a variety of functions like auto forecasts, which is a forecasting tool that shows future executions. You may not want your entire community to know what will be executing in the future. Likewise, you can disable access to past executions by removing the ability to view deactivated tasks. These are tasks that executed in the past and finished with an established status. They're no longer part of active supervision. Every object has object-level authorizations which can be configured. The feature works the same way as a user-based set of authorizations that secure the object only. This would conceivably allow certain user communities to secure those objects without the proper authority. Object authorizations are not very common. In fact, it's seldom used, so this problem might be overlooked. Users typically log into Automic Automation via AWI, but they can also log in via Call API and do similar type work. A privilege exists to remove this. A task, by definition, is executable and has a status and an owner. Modifying the status of the task manually is something Automic strongly urges against, unless there's a specific need for it, because tasks should assume statuses naturally based on the status of the underlying process. We can prevent users from doing this with the privilege. The same goes for the owner. Task owners are naturally sets by events, and more often than not should not be altered manually. Finally, you can prevent users from seeing WP Server workload for other clients besides their own.